If you are a B2B service-based business owner and you are looking to gain more clients, create more impact and more revenue in your business, tune in to Amplify Your Marketing Message with Christine Campbell-Rappin. Every week, we're going to take you through how to build an audience of buyers, mastering your marketing message, and making offers that convert consistently. We'll see you all on the inside. All right, everybody, you know that it's a jungle out there, a highly competitive landscape where your next buyer is searching in the wilderness. And sometimes you need to make it easier for them to find you. And so I'm super excited to introduce you. If you've not been at one of my events, this amazing guest today has shared stages with me many times. She is somebody you need to know. I want to introduce you to Jill Lublin. She is the master of guerrilla marketing, and she's going to help us use guerrilla marketing to amplify our marketing message. Jill, I'm super excited. Thank you for being my guest today. It's always fun to play with you.
I love being here with you too. You're amazing.
Thank you. So let's talk. Where do we start, and why should PR and media, even for a beginning entrepreneur, be on their radar?
Well, let me just say, without it, who's going to know about you? And what I like to say is don't go bragging that you're the best kept secret, because that's what's going to happen when you get no media. The reality is publicity helps you get seen, get heard, and get paid. And it really is a gift that keeps on giving. So no matter where you are in your journey as an entrepreneur, whether you're just beginning or midway or celebrating many years in business, publicity is that distinction that puts you to the front of the line and gets your name known and elevates your credibility, your name recognition, and creates trust in the marketplace, and literally magnetizes and multiplies and monetizes your message. It's really a gift that keeps on giving, is what I like to say.
And it's true. My friends, I want you to know that being in the influence of Jill and others has immediately changed how I thought about media, because I'm from big corporate. I've spent big time in the world of media. I've been on both sides of the agency world, but I never thought, as my own small business initially, that media should be my story. And it is absolutely the gift that keeps on giving. And influence from a third party opens doors you cannot walk through any other way. So how do we become friends with the media, and what do they want?
Well, listen, you don't have to be friends with the media. You just have to get in the media. And what they want is solutions, right? They want experts. And as far as I know, anyone who's listening here and viewing this is an expert. You just got to claim it and own it, and know that even if you don't always feel it, the truth is you are. And the media, you know what they're looking for? People to interview, people to feature who solve problems in the marketplace. So that's where you start, is you put yourself out as that problem solver, and you be the one that they're counting on. It makes a huge difference.
I love that you make that so simple. And truthfully, guys, pay attention. That was a gold nugget, mic drop moment. They don't want to hear your opinion unless your opinion is backed by a solution that can help their users, because their users want stickiness with their outlet that says, keep providing the answers and I'll keep being your eyeball. So I love that. How do you boost visibility if you know they want a solution? Where do you start?
Well, let me just say, sometimes, it's you're going to start even a contrary position. Let me give you something fun to an example of that. So with the Profit of Kindness, well, every year there is Random Acts of Kindness Week. It's in February. And of course, one of the things I'm always a big proponent on is look to see what are the holidays that are focused, or days of the year, or whatever you can to get attention to what you're doing, right? So Random Acts of Kindness is perfect for the Profit of Kindness. And what's interesting is what I go out there with? Forget random acts of kindness. Let's practice conscious acts of kindness every single day. And I propose that we practice at least one conscious act of kindness every single day. And so here's what's interesting. If you think about that, that's a contrary position, isn't it? So it's also gotten me 7 Fox News interviews in the first 30 days, right? And so what I want you to do is start thinking about what are the places, times of the year that you can go out and start talking about whatever you're going out with. One of my clients, she's an expert in mental health issues. We're focusing on the holidays. How do you get through the holidays and stay well? Same thing with a person in nutrition and wellness that I'm also working with who's a coach. We're talking about the holidays. Anyone in the military service, well, Veterans Day, of course, is what we're going to talk about. So I like to call this piece using all parts of who you are and everything you've got, and use all parts of your ethnicity, your religion, like use any way to get into the media. And what you'll find is the media, then when you're in it, super good news, you control the message. That to me is so powerful. If I may, let me just give you an example of this. One of the women in my Media Mastery Intensive, I look across the Zoom room and I'm like, let me ask you, what's your ethnicity? And she says, I'm Filipino. Now, she had come to the Media Mastery Intensive to build her social marketing business. I'm like, that's great, but let me say to you, would you be willing to get publicity in every way? And she goes, absolutely. She got featured in the top 30 Filipino businesses under 30. She's 28 at the time. She got in her, that's a big business journal. And by getting featured in that, she absolutely grew her digital marketing agency. She got a speaking opportunity with Les Brown, which is something she'd been dreaming about for a long time. And that came from her publicity. That's the elevation I'm talking about and the perception that gets happening. But I'm telling you, she didn't go in. She went in using her age. I could tell you story after story about that, where it's worked using everything you've got.
I love that you're inviting us to cast a wider imagination of what we have to say.
Yeah.
When we're starting to amplify our message, a lot of people are nervous, uncertain. And so we start to over-justify the business element. And yes, we are business owners, especially here in this platform. However, you are not just one-dimensional. And it is so true that people do business with people. And I was in a call this morning, same thing. And he came specifically to me because he's like, I want to talk about women entrepreneurs. And particularly, he knows several of my clients are women minority business owners. He said, I want to talk to you about what it's like to guide a women minority business owner to creating success. And I'm like, we need that message in the marketplace. And 100% I'm in. He's like, we need to do a couple things and kick off the new year with a very strong message. I said, yes, it's go time. So what can you, Jill's inviting you to say, what is go time for you? Use everything you've got. And then put the business second, because the natural inclination is to get them to move. And then they'll learn more about you. And that's when the opportunity arises, not before. Not before.
Love that.
So
that was such a great way to sum that up. I love that.
You're welcome. So when you're looking for media opportunities and you're talking guerrilla publicity, what does that really mean? And how do you drive people to your door?
Yeah. So, media happens from the minute you walk out your door. So I want you to think of media, like get your mindset bigger about what's possible. It could be your Chamber of Commerce newsletter where you're featured will drive prospects and leads, right? It could be your local. I'm a big believer in local media, and I think people underuse their local media market, because here's the thing, in your local media market, there is every affiliate, ABC, NBC, Fox News, Warner Brothers, all of them, right? They're in your local market. So start local, your local business journal. They love stories of small businesses. They have a small business editors typically, and in your daily paper, for instance, they have real estate sections, home sections, lifestyle sections, different places and spaces where, depending on what you do, you could be featured. So I think it's a really wonderful place to start is locally. And then what's great is, frankly, you take that national, you leverage it, you publicize your publicity, which I think is an important strategy. Hey, I was featured here. And one thing about media, when you start creating media is like incestuous a bit. They love featuring other people who've been featured because that says that you're good.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's endorsement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love this. So we've talked about, you need to use everything you've got. You have got to understand that media should be part of your game. And now you're thinking, okay, I want to do this. Where do you actually start connecting these huge, endless opportunity that can unfold if you do tap into media?
Well, one place I'd start is podcasts. Podcasts are wonderful to get. They're simpler. You can go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and put in a word and see who's talking about that, whatever your subject matter is. So one of the things I'd like you to do is just start getting interviewed, start finding those sound bites that work, that land, that are interesting. And Blog Talk Radio is another great platform. There have a ton of hosts looking for great guests, just like all of you. So that's one place I'd start. And the other place I'd start is nationaldaycalendar.com. And that is a great resource for finding perfect holidays or imperfect holidays that are just interesting because you can fit into them. Like for instance, I have a woman who helps people get divorced. Well, to get divorced well because they have children and they want to raise the children well. And we have her in for Valentine's Day for how to fall out of love as a story. And guess what? She gets a lot of publicity. How to fall out of love. That's a interesting and contrarian story. So I think you want to be looking at all kinds of days that they have and where can you fit in. Like, here's another fun one. There's a woman who's a colleague of mine, and she has purses, right? And we heard this story yesterday. She fills purses with wonderful things for people who are in need and gives them to shelters. Well, guess what? Yesterday, I think it was actually National Purse Day. Could she have gone out for something like that? Yes, of course she could. Mm-hmm. So you want to always be looking at how could you get more media attention, get more attention on your subject, and keep filling, frankly, spaces where you can make comments, be the expert, because when you're in media, here's the good news. You control your message. So let's bring the people back to you, stay connected, stay elevated, and have people know your name so that you create the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome.
Oh, I love that syndrome. It's one of my favorites. I want to ask you a question because I think this is an interesting perspective, especially here on a marketing podcast. You said you want to think about your sound bites when you're talking to the media. What is a sound bite and why is that so important in order to be the person they say, yes, come onto my platform?
You got it. So sound bites are really important. Why? Because they're concise and focused. They're simple and easy to understand. Like I've got one that talks about the ooh, ah factor to create that. And people go, ooh, what's that? They just like it because it's fun and it's interesting. And by the way, what it is what makes you different, right? And that's a soundbite. What's nice about sound bites is that the media, listen, a typical media interview is 4 minutes long. When you're on major TV, it's like 4 minutes, 3 minutes. It's very short. And so you got to come out and swing. You got to come out with powerful words. And the way to do that is through sound bites that are easy to digest, right? That's a sound bite. Easy to understand. And I think what else makes a great soundbite is something memorable. So you'll find people actually speak in sound bites who've been trained in media. Just watch the news and listen to politicians. They speak in sound bites. And by the way, pay millions of dollars for publicity consulting. Let me just tell you, because that is a bit of a, art form to speak. And I like you to think and speak in sound bites and headlines, because that's what people can remember. And I remember somebody was, I don't know if it was a movie. I think it was a movie, actually, I was watching, and she said, "Oh, I don't have time. It's such a long story." And you know what he said to her? He said, "Just tell me the headlines." And I thought that was really a great example. Like people, especially in today's world, they need to absorb things quickly. You need to communicate to them simply. And I think particularly in 5-year-old language, because, people just have a lot coming at them. So if you can speak in 5-year-old language and keep it memorable and simple, you're, again, going to be the one to be noticed, seen, and heard, and get that kind of publicity that you deserve.
And it is about simplicity. It is not about dumbing it down. And I want to just make that point from my own strongly held opinion, because I'm sitting front row of watching a major American icon relaunch a very big movement, global. And one of the most important things she said is, I want to be on every couch in the breakfast circuit. And I want to do that. I know what they want to talk about. A solution. That's what you said. And she said, but I will talk about that. But when I'm on that couch, I have 4 minutes to control the message, and I'm redirecting it. And redirecting it to the value of a fresh perspective that is concise, speaking to that real simplicity, and it will give birth to this really long tail. So here's another comment though. If you've got something to say, make sure it's something you want to keep saying, because it might live a long time. You hope it does. And that's the key tip on podcasting. Don't change your flavor every month. You've got a message, make sure you're amplifying it. It's one of the things I admire most about Jill is she has got a business that runs because she runs the business and has been known for it for a really long time. So Jill, I want to ask you, I ask all of my guests to amplify. What is working right now to grow your business, to get in front of more buyers, to help them connect to guerrilla marketing, and to see results that keep them coming back and saying, Jill, I advocate for. She's an absolute person I should be hiring and recommending to my network.
Well, I practice what I preach, and that is publicity. I am on multiple podcasts, probably 4 to 5 a week. I write articles that get featured and promoted. I promote and publicize, like for November 13th, World Kindness Day coming up. I'm going to do a big publicity campaign. In September, I do a Harvest Your Business publicity campaign, right? So I do what I tell people to that works in the marketplace, and that is publicity. And it's been powerful. It works for my clients who follow my systems, and it keeps, my name out there. So I'm finding it's working.
I absolutely love that, guys. I want you to connect to Jill. How do they come and find you?
So check out, I have created a free gift for all of you, and that's found at publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. It's a wonderful action guide, filled with publicity tips that are going to get you deeper, wider, and even more than we were able to cover today. Plus, I'm giving you a free publicity masterclass, live and interactive with me, where I'm going to pour some more great content with you and answer all your PR questions. So that's what's in the free gift.
Guys, I want you to grab that. I want you to expand your mind about publicity, because we want you successfully navigating the jungle out there, and Jill should be in your corner. Jill, thank you much for being my guest. It's always an absolute pleasure. You always inspire me to go do one more thing to reach out with media, and that I know is the big win you hope for. Congratulations on all of your success, guys. Connect to Jill, get that download, and we will see you all on our next episode. We'll see you then. That's a wrap on another amazing episode of Amplify Your Marketing Message with me, your host, Christine Campbell-Rappin. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss another great episode. And be sure to visit christinecampbellrappin.com/podcast to get a free resource on how to master your marketing message. We'll see you all on our next episode.